rooted in purpose. Real stories of hard work, of passion, of creativity, of big dreams. Stories that cement our nationhood. Stories that bring us together as one. We take pride in our shared heritage and destiny. KBC. Informing, educating, and entertaining Kenyans as one nation. KBC. Kenya's listening. Kenya's watching.
Kupata skiza tune ya maisha, bonyeza *811*965#. Maisha ni mafupi, hivyo si vyema kumaliza muda mwingi katika malumbano. Hesabu baraka zako, wathamini rafiki zako na tabasamu ili udumishe amani. Bonyeza *811*965#. *811*965#.
Ala! Nissan Serena ndio hii. Na unaweza kuwa wewe ndio tunapikia simu. Kodi ya Nissan Serena ni NS. Alafu kisha kwenye amount ni 50 bob. Hii Nissan Serena tunakupatia na shilingi 50.
Kujiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
But I thought today ulisema we are taking white chocolate.
Utakula ile kitu iko kwa hii nyumba. Unasikia? Baba Joyce. Sutulie. Mtoto akajakaa chini akakunywa uji, unaanza na kelele.
Anavaa kama Dolila ni mtu mzima.
What's for breakfast?
Uji again. I can't keep taking that.
Lakini mimi nataka wewe uvumilie tu. Baada ya hii kesi ndahakikisha tumemwarudisha Nairobi.
I just miss home.
Umekuja kutafuta nini huku? Na unadhani unaenda wapi?
Come here to see my nephew and niece, and furthermore I have some goodies from them.
Wacha kunionyesha hizi vitu.
Musa, you need to give me some respect. I'm your aunt and that will never change. I'm sorry that you cannot stomach me. But guess what? Huku ni kwetu.
Rudi penye umetoka.
Sema nyamazo, usinifanye nijute kwa nini nilikuzaa.
Mimi naota mahali lakini sipajui. Lakini hapo mahali kuna sauti.
Mimi na stress zangu mimi mwenyewe. Can you just understand me?
Make me understand. And I knew. Maya.
Utanifanya nini mama? Utanilaani? Utanitoa uhai? Uwezi.
Good afternoon. Thank you for keeping it KBC Channel 1. This is the Lunchtime News. A very warm welcome to this live broadcast. My name is Irene Muchuma Odim. My co-anchor on sign language interpretation is Byron Abule. Remember, we are also live on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. Do interact with us on our Facebook platform as well as Twitter and Facebook. Top story this afternoon. President Uhuru Kenyatta has reiterated the government's commitment to protect its territory, Speaking during the closure of multi-agency field training exercise in Lamu, the head of state called on the armed forces to regularly hold such training exercises while exploring new tactics of defeating the enemy.
For the last 3 weeks, a multi-agency team of security officers, including Kenya Defence Forces, KWS, KFS and National Police Service, has been training along Kenya-Somalia border in Lamu County. The climax of the training exercise being a visit by the Commander-in-Chief, President Uhuru Kenyatta, who came to see the capacity of his troops. The Kenya Army showcasing how to combat the enemy that may infringe our territory. The Kenya Air Force too demonstrated the aviation component and its effectiveness in dealing with the enemy on land or on water. The Kenya Navy also showcased their might through the warships as well as special boat unit. President Uhuru Kenyatta, while congratulating the forces for working as a unit, also committed to keep on improving their welfare.
Tulikubaliana ya kwamba hakuna askari atakuwa akijiona juu ya mwingine. Sisi zote tulikuja kama askari wa Kenya, na kwa sababu sisi tunatakiwa ya kwamba lazima tupambane kama kitu kimoja.
Ni kitu muhimu kwa vikosi mbalimbali kuwa zina uwezo kwanza ya kujuana, lakini la pili kushirikiana katika kazi ambazo wanatekeleza. Sisi hatuna vita na mtu yeyote, na vile nimesema hatudai inchi moja ya inchi ingine, hapana. Tumetosheka na ile inchi Mwenyezi Mungu ametupatia, na hiyo tutailinda.
The head of state also inspected the military camp in Ijara, Garissa County. Kevin Washira, Lunchtime News.
Uhuru Kenyatta has unveiled the first locally manufactured malaria rapid diagnostic kit at the KEMRI Welcome Research Program in Kilifi County. The head of state also developed and launched the Kenya-Cuba Malaria Vector Control Program, flagged off the Kenya Malaria Army, and witnessed a demonstration on the use of drones for mapping and outdoor spraying of malaria breeding sites. The Kenya Malaria Army is an initiative by the African Leaders Malaria Alliance, currently chaired by President Kenyatta, which seeks to end malaria on the continent by the year 2030. Meanwhile, the government is redeveloping the Fort Jesus Seafront in Mombasa into a modern recreational park, complete with a football pitch and amphitheater on land that was reclaimed from the Indian Ocean. Last evening, President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is also on a working tour at the coastal region, inspected the ongoing construction of the 270-meter-long wall to protect the cliff holding Fort Jesus World Heritage Site from sea erosion. To Samburu County, a section of teachers from Samburu Central Sub-County are calling on the Teachers Service Commission to transfer them from Marsabit County due to increased cases of insecurity. The teachers also complained of dealing with an alleged unfriendly community and banditry.
Teachers from Marsabit County held a peaceful demonstration in Maralal town, asking the government to transfer them to safer areas for fear of their lives. They threatened to boycott duty next week if the national government will not have addressed their concerns.
Our young colleague, who was just 5 months in the profession, the reason for that, he lost his life while He was teaching in the county of Marsabit.
Na tungependa kulilia TSC na pia kulilia serikali yetu kuu iweze kuangalia walimu na kuwatoa pale Marsabit County.
Samburu East Member of Parliament Jackson Lekumontare expressed concern on the plight of teachers and appealed to the government to beef up security in the area. This as Eastern Regional Commissioner Isaiah Nakor warns those creating conflict among communities in Marsabit and Isiolo that they will face the law.
Tumeimisa pia kwa sababu bunduki zinatumika katika hizi misoso hii, so tumesema pia waendelee kurejesha bunduki hizo haramu, na tunaimisa waendelee kurejesha hizo bunduki.
Residents of Majimbo area in Embu West have raised an alarm over insecurity in the area. The locals say they are experiencing theft almost daily, losing valuable goods to thugs.
The Majimbo area residents claim they have been reporting the cases to authorities, but no action has been taken. According to a resident, Gabriel Mushangi, locals are being robbed as early as 8 p.m.
Kuna baadhi kama mmoja wetu unasikia ni mfanyabiashara hapa kategori anadai ya kwamba ameibiwa. Na ni gari yake kweli asubuhi alfajiri ya mapema tumefika pale tumekuta gari imevunjwa kioo, vitu vimetolewa vimewekwa chini, tukienda kuangalia ni waizi walikuwa jana usiku wameiba na wakaenda.
Samuel Gisheru, who operates a shop in Majimbo, urged police to protect them and their property.
Lazima pengine utoe hongo, pengine lazima ufanye kitu ili waweze kukuja, kwa sababu kama saizi ukiwa umeenda kama mpande Mgoya na umefika pale umeambiwa gari hazina mafuta. Kwani sisi tunaweka mafuta kweli? Tunafaa tuweke divider ya kuna divider yako ya kuweka mafuta. Na ukifika kama pale kuna gari ya Mgoya imepita kama mara 10. Ningeomba Matiang'i abadilisha watu hapa Mgoya wote walete watu wengine.
Last month, a security guard was killed in the area that is in the environs of Embu town. Masinjoki for Lunchtime News.
People with disabilities in Kisii South have cried foul over what they term as negligence and discrimination by the two levels of government. Kisii South Disabled Persons Chairman Peter Ongwenyi says members are suffering during this COVID-19 period and there is need for vulnerable persons in the community to be included in all initiatives established to empower them economically.
Tuko na njaa, hatuna hata parakoa, hatuna kutoka nje, tuna taabu nyingi sana. Hakuna mtu anaweza kusaidia sisi hata chakula, na serikali iko inaichari walemavu. Kina huko mama anasimamia mama county, ajui walemavu wako wapi, wako njaa, wako namna gani. Kazi yao wanaendelea kukula na sisi tuko na njaa.
We shift focus to political matters, and Gatundu South Member of Parliament Moses Kuria has underscored the need for the central region to have one political party so as to negotiate its stake in the next government. Kuria says this time it is most likely that the region will not produce a president, but interests of the region should be catered for through a united political party.
Kuria, who is associated with the People's Empowerment Party, observes that the influence of the Jubilee Party in the central Kenya region is dwindling.
And because we have done the bigger thing by accepting to support someone who is not from our community, na hii miaka yote tumekuwa tukiambiwa ati sisi ndio kabila wa mwisho, hatuwezi kuunga mkono mtu mwingine. Tukianza kujipanga na kuwa na chama yetu, tusiletewe makasiriko na tusiitwe wa kabila.
However, his sentiments were refuted by Mukurweini legislator Anthony Kiai, who said that as the region, they will follow the advice of the president on the succession politics.
Mtu akitoka Mombasa na ndege afike Nairobi kwa airport, anachukua mizigo yake anaenda nyumbani, haanzi kujiuliza ati hii ndege inaenda wapi. Yeye amemaliza safari yake anaenda zake.
We must go as a block, negotiate as a block, because I have to tell you one thing. If us from Mount Kenya are not going to be there where the cake is going to be cut, where the cake is going to be eaten, then we shall be the cake that will be eaten by the others.
Meanwhile, former PCEA moderator Reverend Dr. David Gidhi has declared his presidential ambition in the next general election, vowing to embark on promoting the common person in a bottom-up approach in order to boost production in all sectors of society.
I will initiate projects to promote the welfare of the youth, the widows and even widowers, and even single mothers. I will provide opportunities for the needy and the disadvantaged people.
Suleiman Yeri, Lunchtime News.
This is KBC. Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. We are taking our first commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
Nissan Serena ndio hii, na unaweza kuwa wewe ndio tunapikia simu. Kodi ya Nissan Serena ni NS, alafu kisha kwenye amount ni 50 bob. Hii Nissan Serena tunakupatia na shilingi 50.
Kujiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill, kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16, kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Quiero amarte de una forma diferente, de otro modo.
Ask her where she was the day when her agent died. Expose her to doubt and let's see her reaction. Then you'll realize if what Eloisa and I were thinking is crazy or not.
I found the memory card from Gustavo's camera.
Don't worry about it. The lawyer is posting his bail. Sure, that's correct. Because I'm the son that you never wanted. And that's why he never bothered to know me, Mom. But you know what? Don't buy the car. It's okay.
Because your wife was my mother's murderer, that's why. And that's the truth.
Quiero amarte de una forma diferente, de otro modo, nunca igual al de otra gente.
Welcome back. You're watching Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Now, a section of residents living in Madzimbani, Matangoni settlement scheme, Mariakani, Kilifi County, is calling on the county leadership to steer clear from a long-standing land dispute that has been raging for more than a decade. This as Muslim clerics in Malindi, Kilifi County, seek protection of property owners in the region from unscrupulous individuals who are out to grab their land by force.
Of Muslim clerics now want the state to protect landowners in Kilifi County from a gang of notorious individuals who have been terrorizing landowners. Speaking after leading hundreds of Muslim faithful in the Eid al-Adha prayers at Masjid Nur Barani in Malindi town, the clerics said that the issue of land ownership and land injustice has become rampant in the area, with a number of people murdered and their property taken.
Hili la unyakuzi wa ardhi na watu kudhulumiwa ardhi zao na watu kupokonywa mali yao kwa lazima na watu kuzuiwa kwenda kuaccess au kwenda kushughulikia mashamba yao kwa sababu ya kujiogopea nafsi zao.
The leaders are calling on the government to resolve the matter speedily to avoid more bloodshed and killings.
Mwenye ardhi amekwenda kuangalia ardhi yake au amekwenda kutembelea ardhi ambayo alikuwa anaitaka, ikawa atavamiwa na kupigwa na kuuawa kinyama kabisa, ambayo haijatokea kabisa katika hii Kilifi County wala kokote kwingine. Tuaomba serikali ishughulike sana na haya mambo, iangalie na ikiwa serikali ina uwezo inunue ardhi, iwapatie masquatters ili tupate salama.
Meanwhile, a section of some 50,000 residents living in Madzimbani, Matangoni settlement scheme, Mariakani, Kilifi County, is calling on area governor Amason Kingi to steer clear from a long-standing land dispute that has been raging for more than a decade. At stake is a large parcel of land covering some 7,100 acres of land where there are several developments including homestays, schools, churches, mosques, farms and community graveyards straddling through a section of the Mombasa-Nairobi highway.
Tutakubali kunyang'anywa ardhi yetu na mtu mmoja anaitwa Tangwa. Na huyo mtu ni kama yuko na baadhi ya viongozi wanaomsaidia. Atukiwa hatuna uwezo ndio anatumia wale viongozi.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Nisi Imano.
A section of residents from the larger Kerio Valley region now want the national government to fast-track completion of a 300 million shillings Kerio Valley Development Authority irrigation project funded by the state and the Italian government. They are pointing an accusing finger at a section of the Kerio Valley Development Authority staff for the delay. Details of this and other stories in the news briefs from the counties.
Of residents in Kerio Valley, West Pokot and Samburu County are angered by the slow implementation of irrigation project in the area. The residents attribute food insecurity in the region to laxity by the Kerio Valley Development Authority.
And I'm also asking leaders, governors from this county, honorable members, they should also speak on the behalf of wananchi. Ya kwamba hii watu yetu kaifidia wa move very fast. Otherwise, if there is nothing going on, mnafikiri hao watu watagani kuwa valley.
Elsewhere, Mandera County Commissioner Onesmus Kiatas urged Elele residents in Mandera County to cooperate with security agencies deployed in the area to root out Al-Shabaab militants. Kiatas said in the recent past, the government has heightened security operation in the region following Al-Shabaab attacks which destroyed communication masts in the area.
Na tujue sasa ule mtu tutapata anashirikiana na wakora. Tutachukua hatua ile kali hujaona.
Meanwhile, former Chief Kadi Sheikh Hamad Kasim is calling for peaceful coexistence among Kenyans as the country heads towards the general election next year. Speaking shortly after leading special Idul Adha prayers at Ronald Ngala Primary School in Mombasa, Sheikh Kasim urged Kenyans to reject divisive politics and elect the right leaders.
Nataka tuhubiri amani, tuhubiri umoja wa nchi kwa sababu tuelekea katika msimu wa kura ambapo watu wanaweza kugawanyika kimirengo, kikabila, kidini haijakuwa, lakini vile vile iko haja sisi kama Wakenya kuwa na umoja, tuweze kulinda nchi yetu na tuweze kulinda umoja wetu.
Still in Mombasa, 494 students are said to benefit from Equity Bank's Wings to Fly and Elimu Scholarship Program. The beneficiaries come from humble background and education will be provided for the 4 years they will be in high school. The commissioning ceremony at Sheikh Khalifa Primary School was graced by Equity Bank Mombasa manager Helen Jiru.
Very, very deserving students, but all the students that had applied are all needy and deserving. It's only that the scholarship were not as many as the students are.
At the same time, the Equity Group Chief Executive Officer Dr. James Mwangi was at Emurwa Dikir Secondary Boys School in Narok County where he handed scholarship to 24 students under Wings to Fly and 84 students under Elimu program.
Beyond intelligence, the only other thing that will help you is the values you choose to live. Which values do you observe?
In Machakos County, Deputy Governor Engineer Francis Maliti has urged residents to be vigilant and strictly adhere to COVID-19 regulation to curb spread of the contagious disease. Speaking while receiving an assortment of personal protective equipment donated from various agencies, Engineer Maliti said the level of infection in Machakos has increased.
Thursday it is, and we give more focus on business news. The Kenya Tea Development Authority Foundation, in partnership with the PlayPoint Education East Africa, has launched a digital learning mentorship program targeting at least 200 students. The Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics program is targeting learners across KTDA's 12 administrative zones to come up with innovative ways of solving problems affecting tea-growing communities. KTDA Foundation head Sudi Matara says the program is redesigned with a focus on resilience, since it includes social dynamics that prepare the learners with the capacity to respond to rapid changes and adapt to changes in the world economy.
Of course, solve the problems that they experience in a fun way. You know, it's fun, it's quite practical and fun to do like the projects we're doing here. So they will enjoy learning and they will feel motivated to kuegemea ule upande wa the sciences and mathematics.
It's the high time we started seeing robots in the classroom, in chemistry, biology, or any other subject. Having KTDA spearhead this in the tea-growing regions, it's one of the greatest achievements that we've had so far, and we want to push the journey of ensuring that we reach every household in Kenya to mentor young children in technology.
Across the borders, electric car maker Tesla will be undertaking due diligence on the amount of renewable energy used to mine Bitcoin as a prerequisite to accepting the currency as payments. Comments made by Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk at a conference on Wednesday have seen the value of Bitcoin jump to past $30,000. Details of this and other stories from across the globe.
The electric car maker said in May that it will no longer accept the cryptocurrency for purchases, citing concerns over the environmental impact of Bitcoin mining, which uses huge amounts of electricity. This move came less than 2 months after the company began accepting the world's biggest digital currency as payment. Some Tesla investors and environmentalists are attacking Tesla's decision earlier this year to start accepting Bitcoin as payment. The dispute highlighted the issue of what are seen as environmentally friendly electric vehicles being purchased using an energy-intensive cryptocurrency. Given that Bitcoin mining uses large amounts of electricity, concerns have been raised over whether the energy is from fossil fuel or renewable sources. Meanwhile, Sydney, Australia's largest city, construction has come to a standstill for the first time in living memory as a surge in COVID-19 cases puts the city under its toughest lockdown since the pandemic began. Stressed people are out of work, with a knock-on effect seen on other sectors including retailers and cafes as the Delta variant of the coronavirus darkens the outlook for Australia's $1.5 trillion economy, one of the few to have successfully navigated the pandemic in 2020. Now some analysts see the economy shrinking this quarter, the first decline since June 2020, amid suggestions Sydney could remain in lockdown indefinitely. Finally, business software maker Salesforce on Wednesday closed its $27.7 billion purchase of Slack Technologies Incorporation, a massive bet that Slack's workplace app will become popular for collaborations within and between companies. US antitrust regulators has cleared the deal, allowing the creation of a stronger challenger to Microsoft Corporation, the top workplace software provider whose Teams app competes with Slack for market dominance. The merger partners hope the deal will bolster efforts to connect their joint customers to smooth out common business deals.
Time for sports news. The United States women football team will hope to redeem themselves against New Zealand and Australia after losing their opening Pool G match to Sweden at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. USA's 44-match unbeaten run was ended in a 3-0 loss to Sweden on the opening day.
USA must win their next 2 matches against New Zealand and Australia to have any hope of qualifying to the quarterfinals of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. USA will
Channel 1 Lunchtime News. As always, we do appreciate your feedback on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. For more details on Just Add News and many more, do log on to www.kbc.co.ke and also stay tuned for our subsequent bulletins at 7 and 9 p.m. My name is Irene Muchuma Odim. My co-anchor on the language interpretation has been Byron Abule. Good afternoon.